States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kelly, if you can take attendance, please.
Larry Fidler.
Here.
Greg J.
Here.
Brandon Tankhead.
Here.
Bryce Howell. Scott Stierwald.
Here.
All right, any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
I would like to add ordinance 2025-2, police grant fund, please.
Anybody else? Okay. Motion for the approval?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of minutes from the February 11th, 2025 regular meeting. Is there a motion on that?
A motion.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay, this will bring us to the claims and transfers.
From the general, $440,190.53.
Is there a motion on that?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From water, $61,513.95.
Motion on that?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From wastewater, $221,175.49.
Motion for wastewater?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Payroll, $57,583.14.
Motion for payroll?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And McAllister invoice number S9520841. Both of these, well, information is in your packet. A quote was approved for this for $6,847.04. There were numerous changes made, adjusting different parts up and down, but the invoice came out for $9,708.80. So I'm asking for council's approval to pay that.
And which machine was that on?
Transfer.
I'm so sorry, I was looking at something. You guys need-
The invoice was in for backhoe or?
McAllister?
Yes.
Backhoe or?
Those are additional repairs.
That's something with the
Additional service, but also the
hydraulics.
correct, and then, we could pick it up, so the delivery and pickup charge. We want to put that happening, but that's what it is.
I make a motion for approval for McAllister.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I abstain.
That's all I have for that.
Thank you. Okay. Marshall Hall?
You got your monthlies in front of you. Some things have changed. There is a camera section on there now that you can look at. There is some additional information in the back of your packet showing activity levels. We also secured a $12,000 JAG federal grant for body armor for the whole department, which is huge. One of our reserves, Luke Thornycraft, spearheaded it and done a phenomenal job, and he worked with Kelly a little bit today on it. So that's all I have.
Council, any questions? Okay, thank you. Jason?
In your packet, you should have a report from HWC. I can go through that if you'd like. Briefly, if you have any questions, I can try to answer those. Eric is not here tonight, obviously, to answer those questions. But the first thing was the Lieber wastewater project. We are still working on some of the projects. from the contingency, so that's going to be happening over the next probably 60, 90 days probably, and we should be able to wrap that entire project up. So that's both the Lieber project and our wastewater project or so. Stormwater project, we did have 2 additional items that were funds left over. We, at the last meeting, signed a contract. Those should be underway here in just next week or 2. We're waiting for weather to break on those. Actually, in the report, and I can bring this up too, I guess, this is the water project, the ready portion of the water project that's taking a line north of 70 along 231. They did mobilize last weekend. They do have pipes sitting up by the interstate. They're going to be starting boring hopefully this week. They're taking trees out. They have to have out before the end of this month, and then intend to start boring as early as this week. So those projects are moving. The next item is Modon Avenue. There have been some changes. I know this is a project that we had spoken about maybe relocating Monon Avenue to the north. There have been some changes. We did get a proposal from United, or actually, I think it's in your packet somewhere. It's a budget analysis and description from United Consulting for you to review. There have been a couple of things that have happened in the last couple of days with regards to possible land acquisition in that area. I spoke with Brandon about that yesterday. So we may sit on this for another month if that's okay, just to see how this plays out with possible land acquisition, because this is going to change the scope possibly. So if we can hold, that would be awesome on that. But I do want to come back to that. We may have a decision we need to make fairly soon with regards to that. Water plant valve, there is a quote for a water plant valve. That is a valve, obviously, at the water plant that Richard Saucerman has requested to be replaced. It is leaking, and he has concerns that it will fail. It's a pretty substantial water valve, but it is in your packet. And he does have a quote.
It's for $6,698 even.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's just asking to replace that valve. He says it is failing, and Bays Bassin and Logan is the supplier that we use for those valves, and that's who he'll give us a quote.
Make a motion to replace the valve.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And with that, can I go into, I know it's not really agenda, but it's kind of the water plant, or I'm sorry, the water tower. I can kind of update you on that if you'd like me to, Brandon, unless you'd like me to.
No, touch base on that, and then we need to follow up with, because I didn't see it on the agenda either, and we need to touch base on the tree updated quotes on Vernon as well from last meeting, because I didn't see that under old business either, so maybe if you got an update, if not, no worries, we'll skip over
I
that.
don't have an update. I have sent the contract back to the contractor on
Okay.
that, but we've not started on that or anything.
Then forget I even said anything, and then yeah, go ahead and speak on the water tower.
As you all know, I sent emails out last week to all of you about the water tower. The water tower was drained starting Sunday, fully drained by this morning. We had a contractor in there. This is a contract you signed last fall to clean and inspect the water tower. We do it about every 10 years. We had UMAC on standby to be back. Thankfully, we got to cancel them this morning. When we did get the tower open, there was not as much silt on the bottom that we thought, or sediment that was on the bottom, so it was fairly easy cleanup. They did get that cleaned. They got it sterilized, chlorinated, and we are pumping water back into the tower as we speak. It's probably going to take us at least till tomorrow to get halfway filled back up. It is chlorinated, but once it's about halfway, about 50 feet, we'll inspect the water, or test the water. Then we'll have to test the water again on Thursday, and if both tests are positive, then we can open the system back up fully. Right now, we're just bypassing the tower, and water's coming straight, being pumped straight into our system. but it just means right now, it's possible that we have low water pressure in town. We've communicated with the fire department as well, just in case something happened. They may have low water pressure, they might have to bring additional fire equipment if something were to happen in town, but it's going smooth so far. Let's just hope that our 2 tests are good and that we can get the water tower back in operation by Thursday. That is the plan. We're a day earlier than I was expecting.
It's great news, absolutely.
So, sorry, I just added that on.
It's okay. Got anything else right now?
No.
Okay, Kelly?
You have all your financial reports in your packets. I really don't have anything to say about them, we're just moving along. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, other than that, I don't know anything.
Thank you. This will bring us to Resolution 2025-4. That's a contract in Gateway. Council, if there are no questions on this resolution, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to move forward.
Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then this will bring us to the added ordinance 2025-2, the Police Grants Fund. Is that right? Police Grant Fund? Yep. If there are, council, if there are no questions on this proposed ordinance, I am looking for a motion on this.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Old business. Jason, do we want to talk about CSX or do we want to wait?
That's totally up to you.
You make the call.
I mean, we can bring it up. Well,
Not to put you on the spot, but
No,
I mean, yes, I think it needs to be talked about. I'll speak briefly on it and then Jason can back me up with additional comments. For the past several months, the public has known that we've been working with CSX and having meetings with CSX. And my goal and hope was to hear back from them by the end of March. We received correspondence from them today. Actually, it was a few days ago, not willing to help Cloverdale in any fashion with what our goals and aspirations are for the existing railroad line that runs from one end of town to the next. In conjunction with that, we know that we're working with United on Monon Avenue. So that was my rebuttal to them. What about that project and the land that butts up butts up to CSX? And then also a couple of crossings here in town that are very rough crossings for not only emergency vehicles, but the public as well. We got a response back today, and long story short, it is my opinion that they're just giving us a runaround at this point. And I'm going to stop there at this time, and I will let Jason comment further, but this will be a continuance, I can assure you of that. It's very high on my radar. Jason?
Obviously, it's disappointing because I think if there's one thing that we could get accomplished that would be very beneficial to all of Cloverdale would be to eliminate the 3 crossings we have in town. But at the same time, Monon Avenue is very important that we reconstruct that because we consider that the worst street in town. So, kind of disheartening to hear CSX, not surprising, but disheartening. I think there are some other avenues that we could potentially address and maybe go through our legislators, both the United States senators, our congressman, state representative, state senator, see if we could get any assistance from our government officials with regards to this. I know this has been attempted in the past, but I'm not even opposed to looking at a consultant or even a lobbyist on our behalf to try and get this situation rectified. We all know it's a problem. It's probably the worst is on Burma Road. We all know that's probably the highest traveled road that crosses the CSX railroad. We know a train has not crossed that road in 34 years, and we all know there's not going to be a train crossing that road for the next 30, 40 years. So it's just very disappointing. I really thought when Brandon, we had a gentleman from CSX out here, a real estate person from CSX here, I really thought that might be our chance. And I think he was sympathetic to our cause. I just think it's the folks in Jacksonville, Florida, have no desire to work with us. We're no consequence to them. It's more work for them to have to go through the process of abandoning it. So I would like to at least look at the possibility of going the process of communicating with our folks in DC, folks in Indianapolis, and doing it at a large scale. And that may even mean bringing a consultant in to assist with it. I would hope that we wouldn't have to go that way, that it's pretty clear CSX is not listening to the town of Cloverdale. And they have not been since, I know Larry worked on this a long time ago. It's just disappointing. So, you know, I don't have a proposal for you yet. I can look into this if you think that's the direction we might want to consider. I think that may be our only way of getting it accomplished at this point. You know, we've tried it the civil way, and maybe look at an alternate path of getting their attention, not only in DC, but in Jacksonville, Florida. So.
Council, aim to the public, it's, obviously they're considering this an active railway from one end of town to the next. With the sections of track missing, it's still considered active. Grand scheme of things, I personally would love to see a trail put in for biking, running, walking, maybe even a side trail next to it to connect the industrial area by C-Bar-C to downtown, to where if they want to even ride horseback from the arena to either the restaurant downtown or go shopping downtown. I think it's something that we truly need to keep our foot on the gas pedal and not accept their answer. And I hope that every radio station, newspaper, TV that is picking up on this puts this as their headline, because that's the only way at this point it's going to gather any traction, in my opinion. Along with going, you know, to the state, federal levels, sending out, Jason made mention of sending postcards. If we provided postcards to every citizen within town limits, having them sign it and sending it off, flooding their offices. You know, we're open for suggestions. And then Jason made mention right before this meeting tonight, you know, do we hire a consultant and let them do the dirty work for us? I don't know what the right answer is, but I know that them being CSX telling us no because it's still active is not the right answer. We all know trains are not coming back to the town of Cloverdale. For one reason or another, they're not, it's just, I mean, it's not gonna happen. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So, I leave this open for discussion. I know we're kind of off track on the agenda, but it's just disappointing, like Jason said, that that's the communication we're getting from CSX at this point. I'll open it up to council if you want to add any further comment. If we want to have Jason move forward with at least contacting a consultant, or if we want to try sending emails to state representatives and going that route first. I'll open it up at this time. If there is no comments, I would at least ask Jason to, and I've already actually asked him to send emails to state representatives inviting them to the town of Cloverdale. Walk with us, and then let them do the dirty work instead of paying a consultant to do so. Maybe try that route versus spending unnecessary money at this point if we don't have to. That's my thoughts as of right now. Yes, sir.
I think getting the state involved would be a good move, because at some point, CSX is going to want something from the state to do something someplace else with their rails someplace else in the state of Indiana. And this is a leverage point, but they have to be made aware of what we need to have them make a concession on to get the state to make a concession for them for some other project that they have elsewhere in the state. So I think getting the state involved is a major key.
I agree. So let's try that route first, Jason. Let's get a hold of the representatives, and again, I hope this makes the headlines versus anything else we talk about tonight, because it's only gonna help the cause at the end of the day. Anything else on that? Okay. BZA appointment, I am, thanks to Mr. Scott Wall, I am in contact with a potential candidate. I had a very busy weekend, so we played phone tag / text message tag. I do not have a recommendation for town council tonight. I do apologize, but I will in our April meeting, hopefully. This will bring us to readdressing council. As we know, we need to, we've made it a priority to rename Lewis Drive due to the new townhome that is being built on that drive, so that we don't hold up their progress. I know this has to be done via ordinance as well. So tonight I'm asking council to make a motion and agree on what we're going to rename Lewis Drive, so that in our April meeting we can move forward with the ordinance for the new name of whatever we want to call or rename Lewis Drive. So council, any suggestions?
Let's stick with the nut theory. I was thinking hazelnut. Goes with what's back there with walnut.
Hazelnut what?
What we side street.
Okay. Is there anybody, any other recommendations? Bear with me as I'm just confirming that there isn't a current hazelnut at all.
I don't believe that there are. A few nuts.
Huh?
A few nuts.
Somebody's alarm is going off inside. I'm not seeing one. Kelly, Jason, do you agree that there is not one?
I'm 99%
If there are no other, do we know who, we're almost done. If there are no other suggestions, does somebody want to make a motion to rename Lewis Drive to Hazelnut Street?
A motion?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Council, again, we'll have an ordinance on that in our April meeting.
I think it's Scott's truck, because it was flashing.
Do you have anything else on readdressing for tonight?
The committee did meet that was proposed for renaming some of the streets in the Starbucks area. We did meet, we do have some suggestions, but we're not completed with that yet, so we hope to present that to you at the next council meeting.
In April?
I think we might have some good information.
Okay.
That's someone else.
There went one. There's two going.
Okay, anything under new business from anybody?
It's Don's truck.
Don, your car alarm's going off, my friend.
My vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Yours
Where's
too.
your key?
It's okay.
I tried it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I hit the wrong button.
It happens. No new business? Okay, before I open this up to citizens' comments, we kind of have a big deal in the audience tonight. Mr. Williams, would you mind coming up to the podium? This is totally out of business, or out of, I guess, order. But since we're moving quite quickly through tonight's meeting, please introduce yourself. Tell this council why you're here, who you're with. Give us a spiel.
I'm Lane Williams, and I'm here with my mom, and I'm here to hear about the city and for something 4-H.
So it's a 4-H project. What school do you go to?
Great Castle Middle School.
What grade are you in?
8.
8th grade. Thank you for coming. Do you have any specific questions for us for your project?
No, sir.
No. Not a single one. Should have came with one. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to any council members, Kelly or Jason. We appreciate you taking time out of your night to coming to our council meeting. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, this time I'll open it up. Questions? Nothing?
You had asked me that, you mentioned about smoke testing, did you really get it here?
Please.
Just announce to all of you that the town of Cloverdale will be doing smoke testing starting the 24th, and we expect that to go through the end of the month. So we selected that time so that it coincides with spring break with the schools, and we're planning to do the smoke testing in the school area first so that students won't be there. But if you're not familiar with what smoke testing is we will be forcing smoke into our sanitary sewers to see where it goes. It's very possible that smoke will come out of the ground, it will come out of vents in people's homes. In some cases, it will actually go into their homes if they have connections that are not proper. So if the smoke does go into a person's home, it is not toxic, it does not have odor, it will not stain anything, it will not set a fire in your house. So please be aware, it's of no concern for your safety. But if a person is at home and smoke does come into a person's house, we will have people in the area, out in the streets, to assist you if the smoke does come into your house. 911 will be notified as well, just in case. The fire department has already been notified that to expect calls during this time. But what we will find out is if there are cracks in our sewer system. One of our problems with our sewer system is what's called inflow infiltration. It's where rainwater seeps into the ground or goes into gutters or goes into a basement drain and gets into our sewer. So we're under an agreed order right now to eliminate as much I&I as we can. So this is a project that is going to hopefully help us eliminate some I&I. So what happens is smoke comes in, it comes out, we're gonna have somebody standing around there watching where the smoke goes. So we're gonna see it coming out of the ground in some places, which means there's a crack in that pipe or there's a hole in the pipe. If we see it coming out of windows, well, they've got some type of issue with their plumbing inside their house. So this could be very beneficial to people that live in their homes also, because typically if you have smoke that goes into your house, it means that you probably don't have a sewer trap in your drains, which means sewer gas has probably been coming back into your house for a long time. So homeowners should be appreciative of this as well. It's kind of an inconvenience when you see your house fill up with smoke. And again, this is not smoke that is toxic. It will in no way hurt you. Open your window and it's just going to go away. It doesn't hurt you, doesn't stain anything, odorless, won't set your house on fire. But we also recognize that the potential to frighten people, and that's why we're trying to get this out to as many people as we can to let people know if this does happen, there's nothing to be concerned about. Now, if there is a family member or someone out there that has concern, we will be putting out door hangers. We're going to be doing reach alert. We've got it on the sign, or we'll have it on the sign out here. If there's someone with respiratory issues or concerns, or somebody that's not mobile, we can assist with getting that person to another area until the smoke testing is done. This happens pretty quickly. It's a matter of they pump it into the sewer system, 15 minutes later, it's going to be, most of that is going to be dissipated. So it's not a long, lengthy process, but it will help us find issues with our sewer system. So
I'm going to add a little bit. Putnam County Operations has been notified, Cloverdale Police Department, Cloverdale Fire Department. Everyone is aware. What we don't want to happen is during this time of smoke testing, if this is happening in an area where you live, if you think there's a fire, please dial 911. everyone's aware of what's happening. If you truly think that there is a fire, let the emergency personnel come out and check the situation. Don't automatically go, okay, it's smoke testing. Because the town of Clodagh told us that they're doing our part of the town, on this day. If you think there's a legitimate issue, please call 911. And the, first responders will respond accordingly. I just wanted to make that mention, real quick, so. Anything else?
So who do people call if they get smoke and it's clearly coming from the sewer?
Unfortunately, my number is on the door hanger,
Actually, that's a great thing to have his number.
but on the door hanger, it says, if you're at the house when this does happen, if you go outside, we'll have an inspector that's representing us, but also the contractor will be outside as well. This only happens like about a block and a half, maybe at a time, so it's gonna be pretty easy to find somebody standing outside your house, but also call 911. Probably not gonna be anything, but the fire department is planning to still respond to every call, whether it's from smoke testing or not, and we'll probably get a few phone calls. The fire department understands this, they're going to respond, check it out. If it's nothing, they'll go back to their business, but we don't want to risk that there could be the potential of something really truly happening there. So please call 911, call myself, or call or outside the house, there'll be a contractor. There'll be ways to communicate with us, so.
So two questions. One, if somebody's at work, so there's somebody home, how will they know if they have smoke in their house?
They won't. By the time they get home, that smoke will probably be gone.
Okay.
But very few homes are 100% contained or sealed. We'll be standing outside. Like I say, it's only about a block and a half at a time. We'll see smoke seeping out in certain areas of the house, so we're gonna know that they've got a problem.
So if they do have a problem, will you guys contact?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Homeowner?
Yeah, the contractor that we have doing this for us, they're gonna be there, they're gonna be taking notes. If it's coming out of the ground, they're gonna go put a flag on it, they take a picture of it. If they see it coming out of the gutters, they'll go take a picture of it, address it, timestamp it, so that we can go back and we'll get a report when it's all complete of every issue in town, so. It's really, really good way of finding out where issues are in town. It can be kind of inconvenient, and it can scare some people, but that's why we're trying to get that word out there, that there's nothing to be concerned about. But we also don't want, if you do have concerns, still, please call 911. The people that are responding are aware of this, and will address it in case it is an emergency. But either way, they're not gonna be upset if they call.
What color is that? Is it?
It's a white gray, whitish gray.
Shouldn't it be green?
We might be able to put some dye in it, but
I mean, Cloverdale.
I can't promise that it's not staining then, I guess, I don't know. But it will not hurt you, it will not stain anything, that's the key, is, it won't affect most homes. It's only going to affect a home is if there's an illegal connection in the home, or it's missing if you've seen a trap, an S-trap underneath your sink, or if it's not filled with water. Most of those that are filled with water won't allow sewer gas to get back up. But honestly, if this smoke does come into your house, you're probably gonna be very, very happy that it did, because you're gonna find out that sewer gas has been leaking back up into your house for a long, long time. And sewer gas doesn't smell good. And, some person may go, I've smelled that for years, but I didn't know what it was. Well,
So it should go out your vents?
yes. That's what you don't want to go in through that trap. Now, one thing you will see from time to time, especially in floor drains or such, that you're not getting water in all the time, they will dry up. The water evaporates, which leaves a little space at the bottom of that little trap, and that's when the gas can go up through it. So I encourage you to put, if you've got S-traps that in areas that don't get water used much, there may be a bathroom that you haven't used in 5 years. Well, there's probably sewer gas coming back up through that sink or your toilet if there's no water in it, back through there, and it's coming into your house. So it can be issues like that sometimes. It's not always illegal connections, it's just sometimes lack of water in some of these S-traps. So it will be beneficial to people, but it's also gonna be beneficial to the town utilities, to get our I&I issues under control. The whole town will be completed, with the exception of the I-70 business area, which we may come back and even do that at another point, but we're just doing the residential areas of town right now. It's a big project. This was all part of our wastewater project. This is kind of on our wish list items. If you remember, we had those that we're kind of doing now. This is something we're coming back. We think there's still gonna be some funds left over. So we are going to find some issues. I can promise you, we will find issues. Some of these will be the homeowner's responsibilities to repair. Some of them will be the town's. So there are gonna still be some funds left in that I think we can make some of these repairs that we do find. But once we find out where the problems are, then we can tackle the addressing how to take corrective action on.
And why are we not doing the businesses along 70?
We just don't think there's probably quite the I&I up there, but I'm not saying we won't go back. I think it would probably be a pretty cheap area to do, but we were really wanting to get the residential area first, but we might go back. I wouldn't say, there's quite a bit left in that contingency fund, so we might come back and do that too. We were trying to do the areas that we felt were problem areas, but I'm not saying that there aren't problems up there, there very well could be.
Okay. Anything else?
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Did we skip over the labor standards contract? Or did I miss that? Under town manager of the Weaver wastewater project, this is Plank Leaders. The amendment to his contract.
Oh, we did, sorry.
We did not. Jason,
You're right.
go ahead real quick, Jason.
That's just the labor standard contract, because we did the contingency. There was, I don't know, 1.8 million left in contingency. Obviously, we're doing a lot more projects, so this was just an addendum basically or amendment to the original contract that extends it out an additional several months till that contract is fulfilled, so.
So we just need approval on the amendment. Is there a motion on that? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will ask council, everyone should have new email domains, which is fantastic news for council members. If you're having any issues accessing said account, please get with Kelly tonight before you leave town hall, because that is the new email addresses that we've been using since, what, a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. So please get with Kelly before you leave here tonight if you cannot access your new emails. Other than that, it is 7:38. I would like to adjourn this meeting.